been a marketer that a lot of people have thrown rocks at for a very long time because of this strategy, because it was different, right? And I'll tell you guys why. So it's because I understand something, right? There's two different types of audiences, okay? People who are ready to buy now. These are the people that everyone's trying to target with their funnel. But you have to understand that's only 2 to 3% of an audience segment. So this is why this is so expensive, right? So if you look at the way that Facebook optimizes, right? So let's just say I'm going to use someone like Tony Robbins, because I think everyone here knows who Tony Robbins is. If I'm trying to get the people ready to buy now, and I'm targeting someone like Tony Robbins, because of the way that Facebook optimizes each of its objectives, right? Now we're going into, I think, the question that Becky was answering. How do we utilize all of those different objectives for different actions, right? Well, if I'm trying to get people to buy now, I'm going to be using the conversion objective. And I'm also going to be using a specific audience, right? How could I put my offer in front of people who are likely to buy? And I'm going to pay Facebook for a conversion campaign. Now, this is only 2 to 3% of the audience right here. These are the buy now audience. And then there's this not ready to buy audience. Okay. This 2 to 3% of people, if you look at it, like you ever been on Yelp and they put the dollar sign so you know how expensive a restaurant is? This audience would have 5 dollar signs. What my ecosystem does is targets these people, 97 to 98% of the audience who aren't ready. That does not mean they're not your ideal clients. They're just not ready because they don't have clarity, they don't have certainty, and they definitely don't have trust. But think about this. If we create a system that starts pulling these people through our funnel, and we can actually think about this. We can design a conveyor belt that will literally just continuously deliver us ready to buy people at the right time. That's what a lot of people who do my ecosystem, they do not give this system enough time for these people to go through clarity, to get to certainty, to get to trust. So let's actually look at that, right? If in order to pull people through our funnel, right, we have to first give people clarity, certainty, and trust, right? What if we had content, video content, that would give people clarity on what type of problems we could solve, how we can solve that problem? That would probably pull people, right, from not believing that your thing works, maybe not even knowing about your thing, would probably be able to pull some people through that funnel having complete clarity, right? A lot of you guys right now are going through this phase with my ecosystem right now. You're getting clarity. Some of you guys are brand new and you have no idea how it works, why it works. But right now, I'm attempting to give you guys clarity, right? Certainty. Let me ask you guys a question. And tell me in the chat, because I got the chat pulled up. How many of you guys think that if you could just talk to your ideal client, you would get them to buy? If you could just be in the same room with them, they will buy. Okay. Okay, cool. Everyone says yes. Well, 85% of you guys are in for a rude awakening. Even if you got in the same room with them, you would never sell them. That's just it. Like, a lot of people think that, oh, right, if I can get them in the same room, I could sell them. But in order to get them to buy from you, you have to develop trust. What if we had content pieces that would create conversations with our ideal clients so that we can provide certainty and trust? And then what if we had another level of content that would strengthen that trust? What if we had pieces of content that would build that trust over and over again over time? Right? You have to carve out a path, a roadmap for people. Okay. If we go back to the original funnel. And again, this is why when people ask me, well, I got a brick and mortar business, I've got a service-based business. It doesn't matter. There's some type of funnel that you're bringing people through. And that's why one of the things that you guys are going to notice is that the ecosystem looks the same no matter the niche. It doesn't matter whether you are a service-based business. It doesn't matter whether you're a brick and mortar business. If I'm a restaurant, I got to get people to come to the door. Once they're in the door, I got to get them to come back, right? Over and over again. It does not matter. This funnel is irrelevant. This is the offer. This is the offer. The way that we deliver that offer is different. And I'm going to say that one more time for people who are new. The offer mechanism is different. Some of you guys are getting people to your offer through a webinar funnel. Some of you guys are getting people to the offer through a messenger funnel. Some of you guys are getting people through your funnel with a phone call. Some of you guys are getting people through the funnel with them walking through your business door. It does not matter. But you have to understand that there's an offer at play here. So we're sending cold traffic to this offer. Now, what did I tell you guys just, probably about 10 minutes ago? There's always black holes in your marketing. People aren't coming through the door. They're not opting in. They're not watching your video because they have a lack of clarity. So what if we can do video content that's going to give them clarity to plug that first black hole? Then, right, the next thing we have to do is give people certainty. How do we give people certainty? Well, a lot of you guys raised your hand and you said, if I could only get people in the room. So how do we get people to engage with us? Well, what if I did weekly content on my business page and I boosted it to the people who had already watched these videos? So now you're creating certainty and clarity. Cool, we got people through the door. How do we get them to that next step? We create content that intercepts the conversation. So Julia just asked a really great question. What if I don't really have a following yet? That is what this is for, right? If we go back here, this is what that is for. This is the ultimate audience building strategy that I'm walking you guys through right now. Remember, we're going to deliver these people on a conveyor belt. We're going to create our perfect client through these phases. So the second phase, right, is if we can intercept these conversations. Let me tell you guys a little story. So this is one of my favorite success stories. And I see the same success story over and over and over. And remember how I told you guys at the beginning of this training Plugging this hole right here yields the highest return on investment for my clients who are already running traffic to a funnel. I'll tell you a story. So I literally had one of my clients, her people didn't stop opting into her webinar. They stopped watching her webinar. She was still getting the exact same amount of leads. So she was still getting 1,000 plus leads every single week. But less than 8% of them were hitting play on her webinar. That's not a lot. That's super, super low. Right? So Gloria just asked what would be a quick example of the content. I'm getting there. You got to understand this before you understand the content pieces. You got to understand what we're doing. So what I did was, I was like, how can I figure out a way to get conversations with these leads that are coming through? Well, I love my value bomb strategy, but I'm only using them right now for content, like the video content, without giving too much away, right? On these pieces, we do something that I call a value bomb. We're going to get into that here. But I'm like, I'm only doing that for power content. What would happen if I tested it here? Everyone loves those Hormozy reels, but Hormozy says, I have nothing to sell you. So his reels are just kind of like for brand awareness and impressions. What if I created a 60-second reels video that explained why people needed a freebie? Y'all, I'm getting to it. Y'all have to see, this is why people get lost as y'all are moving. Y'all are trying to, here's an important lesson. I'm gonna actually, there's going to be open loops in this training. And I need you guys to understand that if you don't understand, you're trying to understand something 3 steps ahead of where we are right now. You have to understand this. I am very thorough in my trainings and we will get to the content pieces. Okay. You have my book. You have all of the resources right now. This is the most important thing that you guys have to understand is the principle, okay? That's one of the things that I need you guys to just slow down. We're going to get to the content pieces. You have to understand the why behind things work, okay? It's not me fussing, and it kind of is, but I get spicy. That's one thing I forgot. Brian, why did you not remind me to tell people that I get a little spicy when people try to move too fast? Brian, it's all Brian's fault. Y'all blame Brian. But we have to understand this stuff. But don't worry, we're going to get to these pieces, but I need you guys to understand, okay? So I had a client. She had a webinar funnel, 1,000 leads a week. No one was getting past the second step of her funnel, meaning they weren't booking a call. So therefore, they weren't selling their offer. So I thought to myself, well, how could I intercept the conversation? It's like, well, I'm going to take those freebies that I give away in my video content, and I'm going to have her create a 60-second Reels video where in the video, she's like, this is the thing that will solve your problem. Drop me a line below this video if you want it. Here's why it works. See, some of you guys are starting to get it, where I'm going with this. This intercepted 200 plus phone calls, not conversations, phone calls, over 500 messenger conversations with a freaking $5 ad. And we turned it off when it hit $6 because she called me and was like, Laurel, I don't know what you did over the weekend, but we have over 200 triage calls booked. $6 ad spend, over 200 booked calls. What other strategy do you guys know that will do that? Yeah. Pretty freaking cool, huh? Someone just asked, how do you know if they're qualified? That's irrelevant at this moment in time in this training. There's an entire system to do that. But yeah, you talk to them. Someone was intercepting messenger conversations and moving them to a phone call. So now we've got part 2, right? The first one was plugging this first black hole. Now we've got content to plug that second black hole. Now what's the last thing? Now they've seen the offer. We need content that's going to convert them. Welcome to the content pieces of my ecosystem. For clarity, we're going to do video content. That's 3 to 5 minutes. And don't worry, inside the program, there are scripts, there are templates, there are step-by-step videos. This video content is called power content. These are the videos that we're going to run top of funnel that are going to pull people through our funnel to the second step. What's the second step? Giving them certainty, right? People don't have certainty. And remember, certainty comes with engaging with our customers. There's a couple of different content pieces that we're going to talk about for this middle of funnel strategy, meaning people who've already engaged with our content. One of the most popular ones that I like to use are 60-second Reels videos that are designed to give away a freebie where you're not asking people for an opt-in. You're just giving this away for a conversation in Messenger. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that, because inside the program, there's training. And then there's content for trust. This is conversion content, testimonials, case studies, and more educational content.